Hi, bankruptcy attorney Brian Barboza, and today I'm going to discuss, can you get rid of tax debt in a bankruptcy case? Before we get started, if bankruptcy is something that you want to explore, want to talk more about, please feel free to give me a call or go to my website, barbozalaw.com. You can book an appointment to speak with me for free directly through the website. Okay, so can you get rid of tax debt if you were to file bankruptcy? First of all, tax debt in bankruptcy is very, very complicated. This video is not going to teach you everything you need to know about getting rid of tax debt in bankruptcy, but I'm going to give you the main points that you should understand. So first, with that disclaimer, number one, there are different types of tax debts. So first you got to figure out what kind of tax debt that you have. I'm sure most people watching this video are interested in income tax debt, so I'm going to first talk about the other types. There are what's called sales taxes and there are payroll taxes. Now those kind of taxes, sales and payroll taxes, we refer to those as trust taxes. Okay, you are supposed to hold the money in trust for the benefit of the government, and then you pay it over to the government when you're supposed to. So those type of taxes, the trust taxes, sales taxes, and payroll taxes, are not dischargeable in a bankruptcy case. Now, there are advantages to filing bankruptcy when you have those types of debts, because you can do perhaps a reorganization that will allow you to pay those over time, okay? But you cannot discharge those. Now, income taxes. Most of the people that come meet with me tend to have income tax debt, and they're wondering if bankruptcy will help them with that debt. The answer is it depends. Okay, as I mentioned, discharging taxes in bankruptcy is very complicated, but there are generally going to be three elements that need to be satisfied in order to discharge income taxes in a bankruptcy case. Element number one, the tax return for that year in which you owe taxes has to have been due, meaning it has to have been due to be filed at least 3 or more years before you actually file the bankruptcy case. Now this is a little bit of a trap, because a lot of times people don't think about the fact that they may have filed for an extension to file that tax return 3 or 4 years prior, and forgot that extension date is actually, like, I think it's October 15th or November 15th, I can't remember, but that is where the 3-year mark starts. So you got to be really, really careful to make sure that more than 3 years from the time the tax return was due has expired, has gone by, and make sure you didn't file an extension so you know those dates are correct. That's number one. Number two, the other element that has to be satisfied is the tax return has to have been filed more than 2 years before you file your bankruptcy case. So again, you got to take a look at probably your tax transcripts or tax account history and determine these dates. So the tax return has to have been filed more than 2 years before you filed your bankruptcy case. And number three, the taxing authority has to have assessed your tax return more than 240 days before you file your bankruptcy case. So once again, you're probably going to have to grab some tax transcripts or a tax account history to make sure that it's been more than 240 days since the taxing authority, IRS, California, in my state, taxing authority, has assessed the tax return, okay? So those are like the three main things that all have to be satisfied in order to discharge your income taxes in bankruptcy. So again, the tax return has to have been due more than 3 years prior to your bankruptcy case. Tax return has to have been filed more than 2 years before you filed your bankruptcy case, and the taxing authority has to have assessed the tax return more than 240 days before you filed your bankruptcy case. Now, those are the general rules. They all have to be satisfied. There, of course, like everything in the law, seems to be some exceptions. If you, for some reason, did not file tax returns for a long time and the taxing authority went ahead and filed what are called substitute returns on your behalf, then too bad, so sad. You're not going to discharge those taxes in a bankruptcy case because the government had to file tax returns for you. Now, that's at least a Ninth Circuit law. I'm in California. There's a number of states in the Ninth Circuit. It's at least a Ninth Circuit law. And also, if you appealed a tax court decision or IRS decision or tax court and went to tax court, those timelines that I just described, those are what we call tolled. So then it becomes extremely complicated, making sure that enough time has gone by for you to be able to file your bankruptcy case and get rid of taxes. So as I said, tax debt in a bankruptcy. It is possible to discharge income taxes, but it's super complicated. You really need to get a bankruptcy attorney to help you to file the case for you, to review these tax forms before the case is actually filed. Okay, so that's it. If bankruptcy is something you want to talk more about or you want to explore, go to my website, barbozalaw.com. You can book an appointment to speak with me right through the website. Okay, as always, I hope this video was helpful. I hope you got something out of it, and have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye.